Hey guys, so, we did a live today and life just was going a little crazy and it decided to just post a little fuzzy. So what I wanted to do is make a video to walk you through these steps again. Don't worry, since this is a recorded video, you can pause at any time. So I might move a little quickly, but feel comfortable to stop and take a break anywhere you need to. So the idea of working with a rose or a flower is that you're moving in a circular manner. All month on the Wednesday art lessons, we're going to talk about moving in circles. So the first thing you do is you start with an actual circle right in the middle. That's going to be the center of your bud. The next thing you do is you're going to put little petals, just like this, going around. You want to make sure that they're going to touch the center. So you see how that works? The next thing you're going to do is what I'm going to call making little green beans. I want to teach you the concept of giving that flower petal a folded over top. The idea that it's so soft and delicate, it can't stand straight. Most flower petals will do that. That's how you get this little look. They reminded me of green beans, so we'll call them green beans. Let's make a green bean not touching anything going around. As I do this and I make the flower, I do have my pencil move in a little bit of a squiggly or fluid motion. That way it feels more organic. I'm going to make another green bean going around and another green bean going around. Now we're going to connect those to the center. Everything moves toward the center in a flower. So we can just draw lines in any shape or form, sometimes connecting to the others as they're going to come in. Let's repeat that process, drawing the big petals, then we'll talk about where we'll put green beans. So we draw a bigger petal coming around. It does not matter if you move clockwise or counterclockwise. I tend to move counterclockwise when I'm going around, and they don't necessarily have to meet. This would feel just like a regular flower. Now, remember those green beans? We can just add them to part or all of the petal that we drew. We don't have to add it to every one. You don't have to add it all across the petal. It can just be that little edge, or it could be just a side like this. But see how that's going to give it that feel. We're going to repeat this same idea going around, so I'm going to do it pretty quickly. And you're going to notice, as I go around, I will add a green bean into the mix. So, going with that idea, here we go. Sometimes a big solid one. You'd only see part of one. See how I just keep going around? The flower opens up from the center, so we're drawing it the same way. This way, you can make your green beans a little bit bigger if you need fold over, but this way you end up with your rose. Anywhere you think you need to add a little green bean or another petal, you can. Remember, it's not going to make an exact circle. The flower has petals that open wider and smoother, so we don't need them to be exactly the same. What's going to make it feel like a rose is to add a little bit of shading. Now, it's going to be darker in the center because that's the part that's deepest in, where the bees want to land on it. So we're going to darken in that first circle. I'm not going to color it in all the way, but I'm going to give it a few lines and make sure that I remember, make a note to myself that that's the darkest part. I'm going to shade out from there, going like this, just on those first three petals. Just want to give it that idea of that's the center. Now, what happens is when that petal folds over, just like this right here, it's creating a shadow. So we're going to shade up against our foldovers or our green beans, and you want to shade the green bean side of the center side of the green bean. So anywhere here, right here, that's closest to the center. So I'm going to shade that side of the green bean. See what I mean? Right there. Just giving it a little bit of shading. This one is closest to the center, so I'm going to shade that side of the green bean, giving it that little bit And I'm going to go around and do that all the way through, shading towards the center, right up against those green beans, because that's where our darkest points would be. So it's February, it's Valentine's month. Lots of things happen in February. You have Black History Month, you have President's Day, Valentine's Day, Battle of LA on of 1942. What is that? Find out at the end of February. Has something to do with a UFO. So everyone's going, I have never heard of that. And you're running to Google it right now, aren't you? In full truth, I hadn't heard of it either. I had to look it up. So Keaton found it for me. But then when I found it, I said, oh my goodness, we're going to have to draw an alien spaceship. I mean, what else does one do when you discover the Battle of Los Angeles, 1942? So, okay. Then I'm just going to go along and I'm going to get against the edges of the petals, and now I shade away from the center. That's where the shadow is going to be. And I'm just going to do this. Oops, I missed a green bean. I'm just going to do this quickly, just to give you that idea. There's a whole bunch more shading you can work into, but that's not the purpose of these classes. It's more to get you the idea and the basics so that you can really kind of start to develop them and develop an interest to learn to draw, or at least find something that you enjoy creating. So, okay, well that gives us our idea. You see how our flower is developing. Now you're going to want to add a stem. Stems are exactly what you think they are. We're going to add a line anywhere you want to. Add a line like that. And add another one to give it some thickness. So put those parallel. And we're going to add a few leaves. Now to add a leaf, I'm going to draw a line out and a line out. It looks just like this. It's a line that comes to a point and a line that humps up and comes to a point. You can do that, or you can draw almost what feels like a heart. You just want it to connect back to the flower. So the other nice thing about drawing a rose is that, and any flower, is it's fast. You can do it pretty quickly. So you feel very accomplished. You get to check it off your list. Drew something for the day. Was fabulous. On to the next thing. So I always like to check that was fabulous box. So good job, guys. You can, if you want to add shading, add up, right up against under the petals. You can continue around and add petals or leaves anywhere you need to, anywhere on there. If you want to add a stem, draw a line up, make it thicker if you want to, add your leaves accordingly. If you think it needs 2, 3, you're the florist, you're the gardener. My goodness, you're the plant creator today. You can make it look like whatever you want to. You can add extra veins in there, add shading as you like. But the idea here is that the petals all stem from the center. You want to make sure that you understand that they're layered on top of each other, that they build on each other. So they come out in their circular motion, a little merry-go-round of petals as you get bigger and bigger and bigger, almost like a spiral like this of petals. And then if you add that little detail of the green bean, it starts giving you more that perspective of that fold over petal. That'll give you that big, wonderful feel of a big, delicious rose. So hopefully you've had fun with this. Go make some Valentine cards. Impress somebody today. Art is man's nature. Nature's God's art. Thanks, guys. Bye.